Alright, so this season, Giannis Antetokounmpo practically matched Harden's offensive production while still being a key contributor on defense. And if I were picking the more valuable player between two, I'd pick someone like Giannis who plays extraordinary offense and great defense, as opposed to someone like Harden who just plays great offense. So evidence to back this up is while Harden was number 1 in offensive win shares, which if you don't know is a stat that estimates how many wins one's offense brought for a team, while Giannis was number 3. So they're both at the top in terms of that. But although the offensive influence of both players are similar, defense is where Giannis heavily distincts his worth from Harden. Giannis is number 3 in defensive win shares as well, a stat that estimates how many wins one's defense brought for a team, while Harden is not even in the top 10. Therefore proving that Giannis is extremely better at defense than Harden.
Okay, so I believe that James Harden is having the best season of his life, and that's why he should win MVP. This year he's averaging 36, 6, and 7, which means he's averaging 36 points a game, 6 assists, and 7 rebounds. Nobody in the league can do that other than him, because he's the most unstoppable offensive player in the league. Just scoring, like you said, he's the number 1 in offensive win share, so he's going to be the main scorer on the team, and other people just are going to pass before they score 36 points in a game. This year he joined Jordan, Kobe, and Will Chamberlain with at least 7 50-point games. And last year, when he won MVP, he averaged 30 points. This year, or 30 points, 5 assists, and 8 rebounds. This year's averaging 36, 6, and 7, which tops last year when he did win MVP. Also, to rebuke what you said, he has improved on defense this year, averaging 2 steals a game, which is better than a lot of people at his position. And I believe his defense is super underrated for what people think it is.
Okay. I'm glad you brought up the points, because just because you score a lot of points doesn't mean you're going to win MVP, even if it's very historic. Because if you look back to the 2005-06 season, Kobe Bryant, similar to Harden, averaged 35 points per game. And he lost to MVP to Steve Nash that year, who was averaging 18 points a game. So how can Kobe, who doubled Nash's points, still not win MVP already? Well, that year, Nash led his team to a top 3 seed, while Kobe didn't. So if we look at this season, Giannis Antetokounmpo is doing similar things. He's led his team to the best record in the league, and Harden led his team to the 4th seed. So if we're looking at historical context on who wins MVP, it goes to the player, no matter what stats say, it goes to the player that leads his team to the better record. And Giannis has by far done that this season.
Okay, so if you're looking aside from stats and just like looking at the actual award itself, the most valuable player, I believe James Harden is the most valuable person to have on your team. If you want to get wins, you need to have James Harden, because he moves the ball well and will get others opens with off-ball screens, and he's a really good passer. So he can get people on his team like Chris Paul and Clint Capella and Trevor Ariza open, and he's one of the best in the league at doing that. Giannis, yeah, he's a good dunker, and he can he's a somewhat decent passer. He can't shoot at all. His field goal percentage was from 3 was 22% this year, which ranks in the top 10 worst at his position, small forward. And he also he averaged 6 turnovers a game, which is it's pretty bad. Yeah.
Okay, so like I already said before, if we're talking about the most valuable player, like you want to bring up the word itself about being the most valuable player, wouldn't you want someone who can guard your other team's best player and still put up 30 points, instead of someone who can't guard for anything and put up 5 more points?
James Harden isn't going to necessarily guard the best player. Like I'd say Clint Capella or Chris Paul could do that.
But we're talking about hypothetical. If you're picking between the most valuable of the two,
yeah,
you're picking the player that can guard the other Giannis can guard the other team's best player and still put up great scoring numbers and great all.
Yeah, James Harden. James Harden. I'm saying he can't guard the best player, but he can probably
Exactly.
guard like the second or third best, because he's a valuable defender. He in recent years he's been on like shows like Shaqtin' a Fool where he's just like people are passing him by and he's just standing there, but like in this year he's really improved on defense, and he's, like I said, he's averaging 2 steals a game. I don't know about blocks, but usually shooting guards don't get many blocks.
You're
But
saying he improved. I can improve
Yeah.
from having a D, from an F in one class to a D. Doesn't mean I have a good grade in that class. It just means I improved.
yeah, but he didn't improve from like 0 steals to like 0.1 steals. He averaged from like 0 to 2, which
Steals doesn't
in
necessarily.
basketball is a lot.
Steals doesn't necessarily translate to good defense. You don't need to get steals to have good defense. That's not what good. Out of the last few years, in NBA history, when looking at steals, that doesn't translate to winning Defensive Player of the Years. Neither does blocks. So if we're gonna look at who's a better defender, we will look at defensive win shares.
I'm not saying Harden's a better defender than Giannis. I never said that. I mean,
Yeah, I know. But I'm just saying he's a good defender based off his steals numbers is
Okay.
kind of irrelevant. But so we already talked about how how your seeding of your team kind of translate to winning MVP. So Giannis Antetokounmpo, I believe Giannis should also win MVP because he led his team to the first seed in his conference. And again, if we're looking at who the NBA gives the MVP to, this is important because of the last 15 MVPs, 11 were given to the player who led his team to the first seed, which is what Giannis is at right now.
Okay.
So we're looking at 11 of the past 15 MVPs.
I think James Harden also deserves, another reason that he deserves the MVP is because not only is he the most unstoppable player in the NBA, but he's the most reliable. He's going to come out every game and score more than 30 points and play some solid defense, and you can just rely on James Harden to be a great, like the best player on the court every game. There was the entire Rockets offense, the Houston Rockets, the team he plays for, it revolves around his ISO game. So his isolation in basketball is where you'll be one-on-one with another player and everybody will clear the paint and you'll either drive or step back and shoot. James Harden you'd agree, is the best player in the NBA at doing that, right? He can score 30 points a game by just doing that and get the Rockets a win by his offensive game alone.
Alright, so you're saying that the Rocket system the team Harden plays for is revolved around him, right?
Yep.
The Bucks, who Giannis plays for, their system is revolved around him. So you agree that they're both.
Yeah, well, Giannis,
their system's revolved
Their drive
around
and kick offense. Giannis
but it's
drives and
revolved
kicks
around
out to
him
Chris
driving.
Yeah,
He creates the offense just as Harden
but
does.
James Harden, the Rockets' offense is off of James Harden scoring, not kicking out to open shooters.
But they're both revolved around them, right?
I guess.
Harden. Okay. The Rockets revolve around Harden. The Bucks revolve around Giannis.
Yeah.
So, if Harden got them to less wins than Giannis, and both their systems revolve around him, around both of those players, wouldn't you say that Giannis would be better because he led his team better?
Well, yeah, I'm saying James Harden, the amount of wins that James Harden got his team by just playing his ISO game alone, like Giannis can go out and get the most wins in the NBA by sure the offense revolves around him, but they're scoring by him passing out to shooters, open shooters. James Harden doesn't really have that. I mean, he has Chris Paul, and he can kind of drop it into Clint Capella, but their center, which, I mean, he's not really a scorer. He's just a defensive player. So I'm saying the amount of wins that the Rockets got off of James Harden's ISO game alone should give him that.
Okay. Let's move on to the next one. The next debate question.
Yeah.
It's all good. Alright.